All right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live Asian session. I'm your host for tonight's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And we're definitely happy and grateful for all of you being here with us this evening as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we can take advantage of in the Forex market. So without further ado, let's make sure we turn off any and all distractions. Grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes. Let's make sure that we participate and engage. If you're all set and ready to go, please do me a huge favor. Drop me a huge one in the chat and we can get this session on its way. My apologies for the technical difficulties. I don't know what was actually going on, but all of a sudden it started working again. So let's just hope that we're all good for tonight's session. All right. Let me see. All right, I see the ones coming in. I don't know what's going on. It seems like I've got a little bit of a delay tonight, but we'll work through it. Okay. Let me get everybody set up. Let me see here. Okay. All right, I think we are good. Ryan, good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening, bro. I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. A few technical issues. Do I sound choppy or am I coming through clear right now?
You sound all right.
Sound pretty good?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll keep this thing rocking and rolling. Good deal. I appreciate it, my man. And right out the gate, what did I see today come through? My man Reese with the 30-minute setup on the S&P 500 called out today, the 80-20 on the 30-minute. Drop you some sevens in the chat. That was a monster trade. That was decent. That played out right on the money. So congratulations to you for posting that setup. And yeah, you were spot on, man. Really, really appreciate you doing that and talking about how your journey has gone. So that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Yeah. No worries. Thank you. So keep up the good work, everybody. All right. It is a journey. It really is. And somehow in all the marketing that I saw when I first started, they somehow conveniently left that out. But yeah. Good job. So yeah, they did. So let's keep it moving. So let's go take a look at trading economics. Manufacturing PMI is higher through Japan. There was one today here, US existing home sales fall to a 6-month low. But here, I was taking a look at it earlier. It said that existing home sales in the United States dropped 2.2% from a month earlier to a seasonally adjusted annualized to 4 million units in July 2023, the lowest level since January, below market expectations. Higher mortgage rates and limited inventory continue to be the main factors behind the decline, right? Highest mortgage rates, that makes sense. Fed's been hiking rates. Sales of single family homes decreased 1.9% to 3.65 million. And sales of condominiums and co-ops up 4.5%. Blah, 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 blah. Year over year, sales slumped. Simultaneously, the inventory of unsold existing homes increased 3.7%. 1 million July equivalent supply. Current sales pace and the cost median existing home price. Oh, the home prices rose. So this is mixed data, 1.9%. So decline in home sales suggested a potential slowdown in the housing sector, of course, right? We've got rising interest rates that plays right into rising mortgage rates. But we've got an increase in the median prices and limited in inventory. So that has a kind of a higher demand versus supply, which can lead to inflation, which that's why the Fed's been so data dependent in regards to what they're going to do. And it's pretty much a mixed signal. So I don't think that's going to have an immediate, I would say neutral to slightly negative on the dollar, but not an immediate. That's pretty mixed data there. So nothing there. I thought it might have been something more coming out of that, but nope, not at all. Japan manufacturing PMI inches higher. So we know we've been watching the inflationary data coming out of Japan. So we can see here that it was the third straight month of contraction in factory activity, with output, new orders, and export sales all declining at softer paces. Meantime, sentiment weakened but remained positive in Japan. So we continue to watch that yen data. So Ryan, anything out there that might have caught your eye today fundamentally that's going on? I know everybody's waiting on NVIDIA tomorrow for earnings in the market. So
No, nothing new outside of what we discussed this morning.
okay, cool. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. Australian manufacturing PMI, the 2-month low in August. Right. So we know there's been a lot of downward pressure on the Aussie, but I feel like those are due for a correction. So tonight I want to talk about because we've had some questions regarding risk on, risk off sentiment. So so I want to make sure that we just do a quick review on risk on, risk off sentiment, and how, right, they can impact commodity currencies and your safe haven currencies. So just some notes I want to go over tonight. Is everybody cool with that? Drop me a 2 in the chat if we are okay with going over some quick notes so we can get some clarity. So let's talk about first commodity currencies and risk sentiment. Okay, so commodity currencies from countries with significant commodity exports, right? The main ones we talk about all the time are the Aussie, the CAD, the New Zealand dollar. We don't do anything with Russian currency or really the Norwegian krone. So these are like what we mainly focus on in the group: Aussie, CAD, and the New Zealand. Right? We talk about the Australian dollar. We talk about iron ore, those metals, gold, things like that. Canadian dollar and Canada primarily, oil, right? Some gold as well, but mainly oil impacts the Canadian dollar heavily. We talk about New Zealand in regards to dairy products, things of that nature. Okay, so when we're talking about commodity currencies and we're in a risk on situation, okay, we're looking at an increased demand, okay, and a risk on situation for commodity currencies. Investors seek higher yields and are willing to take on more risk. Okay. When we're talking about commodity currencies in a risk on situation, sentiments risk on. Also, higher commodity prices. A positive global outlook boosts demand for currencies, benefiting related currencies. Okay. So higher commodity prices, positive global demand boosts the demand for the commodities, benefiting related currencies. Trade flows, stronger global economy increases trade, especially in commodities. In regards to foreign investments, more investments flow into commodity producing countries. That's in a risk on situation with commodities. Everybody follow me on that? Drop me a big 3 in the chat and we can keep it moving. All right. So let's talk about commodity currencies in a risk off situation. All right. Which is what we've been seeing here lately, right? So you get a reduced demand. Why? Investors look for safe haven assets, moving away from riskier assets and currencies. This leads to lower commodity prices. Concerns about global growth decreases demand for commodities. So when we talk about tightening and global tightening and concerns about the growth, when you look at China and their economy and some of the news that's been coming out of there, they're the second largest economy in the world, second to the United States. There's some concerns there. Okay, so you see commodity prices start to drop off. All right. Capital repatriation. Local investors may pull funds back home for safety, selling foreign assets. Okay. Stalled investments. Uncertainty. We talk about this all the time. Halts new investments in commodity sectors. Right. So if there's less expansion, less construction going on, right? If you need a bunch of steel, right, for construction because you're expanding, you need iron ore like China, you need iron ore, right? Main ingredient, key ingredient in the production of steel, right? A lot of construction, there's a lot of transportation. You got to move those big vehicles, high demand for oil, right? Things to think about. So in essence, during risk on periods, optimism boosts commodity demand and related currencies. Inversely, during risk off periods, investors prioritize safety, moving away from commodity currencies. That makes sense to everybody. Drop me a 4 in the chat. All right, this group is awesome. So let's move it on down and keep it moving. Let's talk about these safe haven currencies and risk sentiment. Safe haven currencies deemed stable, especially in economic turmoil, right? Ergo, USD, the JPY, and the Swiss franc. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's think about it. Okay. Let's think about it and talk about this. So, doing the risk off sentiment for safe havens, always safety first. Investors prioritize stability, moving funds into safer assets and currencies. That Swiss franc's been pretty strong. Right? Swiss franc's been pretty strong. Dollar's been holding up. Yeah, and we got a different ball game playing with the yen right now, but we know why that is. Right? Global concerns, fears about economic instability or crises increase the appeal of safe havens. We always say as investors that our first job is to protect the capital. Okay. Capital repatriation, local investors pull funds back to their home countries, boosting their own currency. Think about that. Okay. We don't have to be econ majors to understand this. Not at all. Outflow from risky assets. Investors are withdrawn from riskier assets and regions, often moving to safe havens. Okay. So let's talk about risk on sentiment when it comes to these safe havens. Okay. Seeking returns, investors look for higher yields and riskier assets, moving away from low yielding safe havens, right? Put that money back in the market, right? Where you can get a greater return doing risk on situations. Everybody's waiting on these reports, the earnings reports from NVIDIA tomorrow, right? Heard a lot about that today. See what happens, okay? Global optimism, positive views on global growth, reduce the need for safety-focused investments. Boom in risk assets, commodities, emerging markets, and stocks often soar, overshadowing safe havens. Okay. We know before this current correction that we've seen, with the concerns out of China and a potential of further rate hikes from a lot of these central banks, right? We know that the market was on a tear. Everybody's, hey, what recession, right? You heard a lot about the soft landing. Foreign investments, capital flows into countries, sectors with high growth prospects, reducing demand for safe haven currency. So in summary, safe haven currencies thrive when uncertainty and fear dominate, as they offer stability. During optimistic risk-on periods, they often underperform as investors chase higher returns elsewhere. Makes sense? Drop me a 5 in the chat. We can keep it on moving to the charts. Good enough. So, hey, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop a link uh, in the chat for everybody. I'll chat. There we go. Chat. And I'm going to paste this link. Boom. To the notes. Now, if somebody can click on that and verify that for me that that's going through, okay? That I didn't completely mess that up. Let me know that it opens.
All
I'd
good,
really
bro.
appreciate that. We're all good.
Yep.
All right. Appreciate it. Each one teach one. All right. So let's go. So you guys have that for your reference now. Keep that handy. All right. So let's take a look at the DXY. All right. Still just stalling. Okay. The almighty dollar is just ranging on us, right? So there's the daily chart. It's just kind of moving sideways. One day is up, one day is down. We still haven't broken that trend line. We're at the top of this range pretty much, right? We know we've got that level there, but right now, this is where we're hovering. Okay. So let's see what happens tomorrow. We got some more earnings reports coming out. Big one, NVIDIA, that's been on the tear because the whole AI and all this other stuff. Let's see what happens with that. See if it serves as a catalyst. Maybe it ends the correction and we get back to risk on in the markets. All right. So let's take a look at, for example, our Aussie Swiss. We know the Aussie is what? We know it is a safe haven. I mean, a commodity currency. It's been moving to the downside. It's run into some key levels of support. It's been taking a beating, right? Largest partner, China. China's having economic woes. It's been following the ABCD wave straight down. We came into an extension on the weekly. Okay. We're in a 118, 127 zone on the daily, right? We got a 382 on the daily, a pullback, a correction right here to 382 up against that 61, 64 level, and it just collapsed. Okay. Technicals and fundamentals, it all matters. But you can see how now we're at this 127. We hit that weekly D extension. That's what this red line is. And you can see here that we've now formed an official low. Our stochastic is in the buy zone. Okay. So at some point, right, even in risk off situations like we have been, we eventually find a low price, and there's the potential where things will start to turn and price reverses. Okay. And if we move down through the charts, we'll see. So now we have a confirmed low. Stochastic is in the buy zone on the daily. So now it's just a matter of what we're looking like on these lower time frames. So here we are on the 4. We've been waiting. Patience pays. Okay. We know we've got a brand new AB boundary. We've got a pullback to a 236 price collapse, broke our B boundary. That's an 80-20 scenario. We've been waiting on this trend line to break. We definitely used additional confirmation. Why? Because the Aussie is a commodity currency. We've been risk off. It's been taking a beating, but at some point, the price gets low and you find buyers perched somewhere. And right now, it's looking like we found them. And price is moving to the upside. So this play, even though we drew it up a long time ago, it takes time. It takes time. So we have to be patient. Okay. Maybe this was the only setup you were waiting on. That's okay. That's 145 pip move if we get to that 382. This is the game we play. Right? This is the game we play when we're playing, higher time frame swings, right? Now you could be like my man Reese down there on that 30-minute, getting busy on the S&P like he did. So once you get the overall framework, that's totally up to you, right? How you want to play it. You could be successful. A lot of ways to skin a cat. But this is traders moving positive. So what we're looking for is, hey, maybe, NVIDIA comes out. The earnings are positive with NVIDIA and some of the other companies that are reporting, and maybe that changes the sentiment, right? Maybe it's like, all right, we know what's going on with China. Yeah, we know that JP Morgan Chase changed their forecast from 6.4% GDP growth for China this year to down to 4%. But you know what? That's still 4% GDP. Okay, still 4% GDP. That's higher than what the United States is projecting. right? So sometimes, right, once the emotions start to subside, we know we've got issues with, hey, real estate developer, one of them filing for bankruptcy, another one's in trouble over in China. That's been going on for a long time, though, right? Evergrande was in trouble before, right? Then things subsided. Everybody wrapped their head around it to see, okay, what's the plan coming out of China? So it's the same thing now, right? So yes, prices have gotten pushed down to some major lows, but at some point, if the market's going to move in waves, it recovers, right? Buyers come in, pushes it to a new high price. We continue to watch the overall sentiment, look at the market structure technically, and decide, hey, are we still overall bearish and we're just moving to a high price? If we do, when it gets into our sweet spot, we look to sell it. We can make money on the way up and the way down. Any questions on the Aussie Swiss?
No, sir.
All right. All right. So let's take a look at, I'm gonna look at this Aussie NZD. See what we got going. What are we looking like? Right. So Ryan spotted this AB boundary on the daily a while ago, and it's just hovering, right? It held at the 61.8, held at 107.22, and it's just been moving sideways. We know this is a choppy pair. It's kind of like the Euro GBP. You kind of get the same thing with the Aussie NZ. Hey, most of the time it just can't make its mind up, but hey, that's a potential play there. All right, if we start to see the Aussie recover a bit, we may see that push up. So that's one to just keep an eye on to see if you come into your lower time frames, do we start to get some higher highs and higher lows, some pullbacks? Right. And even right, because it's so choppy, if I come in and I just look at this small wave here, what is this going to look like for me there? Do we hold? Okay. Do we hold once that stochastic gets back in the buy zone? This is a 15-minute, right? Do we hold in that zone and then continue long? So that's a possible play there on the 15 for their Aussie NZD. Only if we hold past resistance becoming future support, definitely look for upside confirmation on that. All right. That's been a tricky one. Any questions on the Aussie NZD? Sometimes you can make something out of nothing. You see it at the right time.
No, sir.
All right. Let's take a look at, I didn't take a look at this Aussie CAD, but while I'm in the Aussie, say, why not? Let's take a look at it. See what's going on. All right. So now we've got price coming into, what was that thing? Right? Daily 127 extension. See how that game plays. Look. Can't make this stuff up. A, B, C. Retracement levels gives us our downside target with the extension level. 786 retracement, 127 extension. Boom. Now we got a new AB boundary. Price is pushing up. Price is pushing up. Stochastics in the buy zone. Okay. So we got a little rally action going on with the Aussie dollar right now. I mean, with the Aussie CAD. So here we are. This is the move, right? It's been a wild one, but you can see we hit that daily 127 extension. Okay. And we're pulling back right now. We're pulling back. This is what price does. So if we come here, we can see where this is one of our previous markups. You can see we've worked our way back to the 382. Let's see how high I can push in the zone. Okay. See what happens with the market sentiment. All right. Pull this off, clean this up. Remember that B boundary, down AB fib, that B boundary represents what? Support. And you can see it's made its way off that level. Here's that 15-minute, right? So this is one that we were looking at. So the question is, right, did we hang in there for the trade through all of this mess when we were getting whipsawed? You guys remember this one from last week? We were getting whipsawed all over the place. Did we hang in? It got to that 382 target. All right, so that was a good one that played out. Let's see what happens next. Questions on the Aussie CAD?
Sir.
No question.
All right. The market moves in waves. Let's take a look at this Aussie dollar, see what's going on. Okay. So you can see just how things cycle in, cycle out. Like we've been moving down. Okay. We've been moving bearish. Dollar's been strong. Aussie's weak. But you see how we broke support? 64.53. See how we're pulling back? All right. That market is going to wave. Okay. You use the Fibonacci principles that we're teaching you, right, to make plays off of. There's a double top from a long time ago. Here's a new low that's forming. So we're getting close to that D extension. It's just a matter of how far this wants to pull back. So I'm going to put in a new daily support here. Like so. Cool. Work our way down. Let's pull it back again. It's good. It's good. It's gonna move higher. Check this out. This will went out. Right. And clear this out now because it broke through that level. It's just moving up. So we're gonna come back here and retest that 64.35 that we saw from the higher time. Let's see what happens. It rejected it. Right. Not too long ago, it got rejected at that level. So let's continue to watch it push higher in the zone where we had on the 15. We're gonna drop a swing on this. I did. Yeah. Didn't quite get that D extension, right? And then we reversed. So we're gonna let that just continue to push up in the zone. See if we can reach a high price, reevaluate things after tomorrow's earnings report, see what the market sentiment is, and then we'll look to make our plays from there. That's the Aussie dollar. Let's take a look at this Aussie yen. We've been kind of just bouncing around. Okay. Okay. And we see, right? We're starting to rebound a bit, starting to get priced to move back up. I'm ultimately wanting, this to continue long. That's what I needed to do. Just trading just like all the other, yen crosses. Even though the Aussie's been weak, I still like it against the yen until we see, a sell-off in those yen crosses that are pushing to some very, very high prices. The Bank of Japan intervenes, something like that. But I'm still overall long on this yen. Ryan, what do you think on this? I know you covered these yen crosses earlier today.
Yeah, bro. On that yen, I'm looking on the 1 hour.
Okay.
I'm looking to see if price stays inside the AB boundary.
Okay. Yeah, I was playing around with this yesterday a little bit. Messing around with some different angles on it. Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking at to see if price stays between the AB boundary, and then we'll go from there. But looking at 618, 786 range.
Okay.
To see if price stalls in that area. If it doesn't, then looking at price getting back to that 95,865 level.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
I was tracking that latest downtrend. But this is that current wave. It's been choppy. But that's making a pretty good move now, eh? During the Asia session. Yep. So I think I might on the one. I'm gonna play it right from off this leg and see what happens. All right, that's that. Here's the 15. Right. It's making that run up in that zone. I can clear these out. I want to see that continue. So I'm just gonna keep it up a bit on it like that. All right, that's the Aussie yen. Didn't get a low price here on the 15. It's running long from there. So we'll continue to let that play out. See if we can get a decent entry on it. If you're not already in it, let it run for a little bit. We got time. All right, that's the Aussie yen. Want to take a look at this my Euro Aussie scenario. Yeah. So it's finally, it got me, and then it, and now it's reversing. Look at that. Right? I missed on that initial play, but you see how we're correcting everybody, right? Pay attention to this one now. Right, this is corrected to the downside. Let's see if it hangs within that AB boundary. Let me go back up here to top. We know that we're headed towards that 382 on the weekly. There's that 80-20 right there. Right. So if this declines, continues to decline, right? Even to this 382 here, that 1 hour fib is going to be taken out. So you can see how we hit the daily D extension, right? This is one we've been tracking. And you can see how we've gotten a reaction on it finally. All right. Finally. Man. Anybody playing this to the downside?
Yep, I'm short on it.
Short? Good, good, good. All right. Good. So that's how it goes, right? So, hey, the Aussie has been taking a beating. Man, when you pay attention to the technicals and the fundamentals, you see exactly why this move is so effective out of that zone. So it's already down over 100 pips. That 382 is still, we're going to get there quite a ways away, 300 pips. So we're looking at potential pullbacks and continuations from that point. Okay. So if you plan that, if you get confused, right, moving down through the time frames, like we say, we mark up so many fibs on the charts because we know we have members that play it on different time frames. So, but if you're, for example, Ryan short off that 4 hour, you don't have to put your 1 hour fibs on there. If you're planning off the 4 and you're saying, okay, look, all right, follow me closely now. If you're saying this is my 80-20 play here and I'm planning to this 382, then this is the 4 hour chart that you want to run your fibs on. And these are this is the target. So what you want to do is link this target here at the 382 and then link it down to your 1. And when you come to the 1, you're like, okay, I'm playing a 4 hour 80-20. I'm short. Well, all you want to do then, if I'm short, to just give yourself some mental clarity, I'm short the 164.59. So all I'm going to do is I know what my bias is. So what I have to do now is just run my fibs to the downside, for example, on this 1 hour chart. Because I know, hey, I'm in a 4 hour 80-20 play. Here's my TP1. That's my target. So I need to run down ABCDs on this chart. Bang, like that. And if I'm going to hold that bias, because technically I'm in an 80-20 zone and I'm looking for further declines in the zero Aussie, then what I'm going to do, right, if you're not in that initial move like Ryan off the high, what you're going to do is you say, you know what, I'm in an 80-20 on the 4. I'm coming down to this 1 hour chart. Because if this 80-20 right here on this sub fib plays out, I need it to kick back. And if it kicks back and it gives me a high price, a sweet spot, you know what? I'll short it back down to this 382. Right? Oops. Let me do that. I take that back. Oh. Short. Either to this D extension, or you can say, hey, that's my initial entry to take the ride down. Boom. Why? Because I am overall bullish on the Euro Aussie, right? because the longer term swing is we are trying to swing to this weekly 382 that Ryan identified a long time ago at 174.57. But what goes up must come down. The market moves in waves. And so temporarily, I am bearish on this setup. Why? Because I am in a up retracement zone on the 4. We are currently in a retracement phase, at least right now. Okay. And that's how you think through these opportunities. 4 hour, 80-20, price is short temporarily. We know that retracements and corrections, if the trend is going to continue, then your retracements and corrections are temporary moves, right? It's in this example, that moves price lower, so buyers can get a bid, right? Catch a bid long for the C to D push. Okay, so right now we are short on that Euro Aussie because of where we are in the Fibonacci sequence. Any questions on that? See how that plays out. We know that Euro has been strong. We know that Aussie has been super weak. Maybe it's time for price, right, to shift a little bit. Maybe we get back to that risk on scenario, right? Give strength to that Aussie and we see things go our way. Questions?
Nope, no questions, bro.
All right. All right. So let's take a look at our Euro CAD. What are we doing? Like kind of just hovering still. Still just in the range. Not too much. Right. Let me zoom out. Nice. There we go. It's a long play, right? It's even hard to squeeze the chart now. It's just been running long, right? So we're still thinking long Euro CAD at least back to that 148.83. We can see this a little bit better. Right? So we're just ranging. Still in that up retracement zone, just in the range. So we expect it still to get back to that 148.83 level that it just missed a while ago. All right, but it's ranging right now. So nothing playing there on the Euro CAD. Let's take a look at this Euro Swissy. See where we are. Man, train wreck right now. Still holding within that AB boundary, right? But it's having an issue. It is having an issue. Getting close to that stop, but not quite there yet. So there's still hope. It's kind of really still hovering around the entry, to be quite honest, right? Took off for a little bit, then it came right back down around that entry point. So this one is stalling. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Maybe we can get some positive news out of the stock market, right? That'll create some things to rally, cause some things to rally, get back to that 382. So that's still where we are. Still holding that Euro Swissy. See if we can get some momentum to the upside. It's either going to hit that target or it's going to stop me out. Yeah. So stop me out. Questions on the Euro Swiss? No? All right. Let's move on to the Euro JPY. We thinking, Ryan, we finally gonna get some price action to the downside? Got a new AB boundary. We need a correction. We need a correction on this Euro yen. So let me see here. Let's continue to work on down through the charts. There we go. All right. So on this 4 hour, we've got a monthly D extension hit. It is having a hard time breaking this 159.29. Tough time. So this is one to keep an eye on. Do we finally get some relief at some point on this UOJP for it to move down? It's knocking at the door 1, 2, 3, 4 times now. It's been rejected off that level. So just continue to watch that one. Here it is on the 1 hour. See where I caught that from. So maybe not. Maybe I did maybe I just ran it out there. Let me see what we got. Thought I did. Okay. Yep. Here we are. So we're retracing. Now, if that continues to make its way down, right? From that move, that larger move on the 4, we're gonna take that A out. We're just gonna continue bearish. But right now, we're still hanging within this AB boundary. So we'll see what happens once we get a low price established in our green zone. See if there's any type of shift in momentum. See if we form a low. Right? It's a tough one right now. That euro's been pretty strong for the most part overall. We do have it's having its corrections, but when compared to the yen, definitely still bullish. Let's see where we settle. Any questions on the euro yen?
No, sir. I'm definitely got my eyes on this one in that support level.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see where this one ends up. That yen is tricky right now.
Man.
Everybody just keeps watching it, and watching it. Oh, can make for tough trading environments, but just trade the zone, right? Just trade the zones when you get them.
That's
Let's
it.
take a look. That's it. That's all you can do. I think that's what really. Whenever I start to get in too deep, that's when I really go back to that notion. Like, you know what? When it gets in your zone, make the play, let the edge play out. Right. So let's take a look at this one on the 40 NCD setup. So we can see like we're getting those corrections. Right? Look at that. That's a nice high that we got that formed on the 4. Wow. You played this at all, Ryan? I did.
I did not, man. I took a peek at it earlier, but I did not pull a trigger on anything there.
Yeah, we get a little bounce in those commodities, eh? So get this out of here. So this is where we man. So it'll be decent to see if we can get any type of pullback and continuation to the downside. I mean, man, look at this daily. And we hit that 382, but that's the stochastics in the sell zone. So I wonder how deep this correction is going to be. Right? Not quite ready to put in a high to that daily candle at 5 o'clock. So let's continue to watch that one, man. We may have more lows in the future for that one. For the Euro NZD, we may see a deeper correction, but if that's the case, it's already running that D extension guy. It's already running. So we need to wait for a pullback to see if we want to take advantage of that opportunity. Took out our A on the 1 already. Look at that. See what happens there. We just tapped that 382. That's the OG candle. Let's see if we get a pullback on that. Maybe take a shot back to the downside. Questions on the Euro NZD? All right. Euro USD. Appreciate you, sir. Going on, this pair still hovering at that level, 108.34. I wonder if we're gonna get long off that level. Wonder if we're gonna get long off this level. Getting close to that sub 50 extension. I'm just gonna let this one play out right now, below that trend line. Keep a close eye on that DXY. See what happens tomorrow. I'm excited about tomorrow to see if we can finally get the catalyst to get this market going. Some of these earnings and things like that. See if we get that sentiment shift. Because I've just been waiting patiently on these setups. Any question on the Euro USD? How far is it going to decline into that AV boundary? Will it break the support? That's the question. Get paid to wait, everybody. So let's wait.
So that one I'm still sitting in, bro. On the one
Still long or the 1 hour 80-20 that was from a long time? Wow.
No, I got a long position that I took at
Yeah,
the
long position.
retracement level.
Okay.
Hasn't taken out the A yet on a 1 hour fib.
No.
So when we close back above that daily level, a support level. So I'm still sitting.
Okay.
Didn't take me out yet.
Yeah. This is a key support. Right?
Yeah.
We know that. I can take this out because I got it running on the other. I had it running on the other one where I'm at now. So this, let's see. We're getting a little bounce, right? It's reconfirming that level. I wonder what this looks like on the on the 15 and the 5. Let's see. I wonder if this move is going to sustain itself. That's your 5 minute there, right? So if it's going to sustain itself to the upside, it's not that far away from that D extension. Like so. Right. This is going to continue up beyond that. Hey, if you didn't catch it at these lows, no, I did 5 minutes, right? So we didn't catch it at that low in our zone. So we let it run, right? Let it make its move up to hit that D extension. Boom. Once we get the new high, we'll have a new fib. Then we can look to play that correction and, let it correct to the downside and then get in for that C to D. Okay. Waiting for the high price target at 107.30. So on what, Reese? The Euro USD or something else?
Yeah, Reese is long on the dollar.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Okay. I got you. All right. On the dollar overall. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I can see it. It's one of the ones where I could be 50-50 at times with that dollar. I can see cases for declines and for it to continue long, depending on a few situations to play out. So we'll continue to watch it. We shall continue to watch it. 107. All right. All right. High price and get short to 107. I like that idea too. Any questions on the euro dollar? Anybody looking at anything right now? Eyeing up anything?
I am. Can you take a look at that pound also,
Sure.
please?
Yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, all right. What you thinking, Ryan? Correction time?
That's what I'm thinking, bro. And just missed that D extension, but
Saying with those earnings, if that sentiment shifts tomorrow, a lot of these are good positions, aren't they?
mm-hmm.
You continue to see some strength in the Aussie on the correction, that's gonna come down. I can't stand when I miss these big ones like that. This is a pound Aussie. It doesn't look like much, everybody, but look at this. That's already down 200 pips. It's coming right back down into that zone. So you can catch it from there.
Yeah, I was looking at it out of Saturday. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Woo. That might continue down. You wait, or did you build in a small position? You were short last week and jumped out before the weekend. Yep. Yep. When we get back, we get below that 197.46 level, back below that B boundary, it's probably gonna keep coming. It's due. It's due.
I don't know if you heard me, but did you hear me say I'm short?
Doesn't
Added a
matter.
position in.
You short? You already short on it?
To the paper towel.
Yeah, dropped a position at 198.853.
Oh man, yeah.
So starting
Okay.
to build it.
Yeah. That's nice. It's nice the way that play out. My goodness. Be patient, right? We go a week or so where it's just everything's just bouncing around doing nothing. Then all of a sudden, boom, right? Just one thing you learn if you guys have been with us for a while, it's just like, man, it doesn't seem like a whole lot going on. But you gotta continue to be patient. Because I know that really used to mess me up, and it does still at times, right? You get anxious, and so you start looking for stuff outside of what you normally trade, you get beat. Right? You get beat for the deep ball. Right? Opponents scoring touchdowns on you. And so it's better just to be patient, not be in the market at all until those trades hit your zone. But that's come down quite a bit right there. That's a good week for a lot of people. We're sitting up here talking about it still needs to go to the 382. All right. That's what's that? Almost 400 pips. Something like that. All right. So that's it. That's all I've got. Anybody got anything else before we wrap things up tonight? A lot of these setups that we've been waiting on, they're starting to move. Starting to move. We always say, hey, it's hard to tell exactly when or for how long it's gonna take, but it works. No questions? Everybody watching Netflix? What's on TV tonight? What's going on? What in the world?
Reset, can we check out oil?
Oil? Yeah. What is this? Don't look up. Got a comment coming I don't know about? What's what's, go- what's going on? Let's look at this oil price.
That move was
Uh,
wild. Bro.
so true.
Facts.
That level's holding right now, Reese. No basketball. I know, right? And good luck with that writer strike that's going on. There's nothing. Watching old YouTube videos.
Man, that writer strike is crazy, dude.
Man, they're not playing up. They're not playing no games.
Nah, they're talking about Tasha was telling me that they're expecting a lot more reality TV shows to pop up.
What?
People just wanting to, basically be on screen, but just doing more reality stuff. Because the writers aren't doing anything. So basically follow my life.
Get them cameras ready.
Yeah.
Tyrone, what's going on? Does he have access to his mic? I don't. He doesn't. Tyrone, all right. I think you're good now.
Yeah, nice one. So it's not so much a question about any of the setups, but I love how you guys map out your setups, man. It's very, very good. It's just a technical issue on my side, you see, because I'm trying to get back onto my Discord, but it's not logging me on. So I might need to be my account might need to be suspended and then put back on again. But I may need to use another email.
Okay.
Tyrone, can you send us an email to info@theforextraderoom.com, please?
Yeah, man, no worries. Definitely, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could get it worked out for you. Appreciate you giving us a heads up on that.
Blessed for that, man. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Cool.
All right. Any other questions? That oil, well, we're kind of just hovering. I still see, I don't see anything break it down completely. I think this is just a correction. All right. Held the level. I think we correct. We find a new low price and then we start getting long again. This is how I have it drawn up. So we had a very shallow correction on that last one. We didn't even get to the 382. We pushed up into that zone that we were looking at, top of that range, and we're getting a correction. I don't, at least right now, I don't see it making a full, all move back to the bottom of the range. I think it's just about time to push through that level. So we just need to wait, see where the buyers are perched within that AB boundary, right? Maybe we double bottom in this zone and then we continue to get long, right?
So you think a little bit deeper on that, bro?
Yeah. Yep. Maybe right back here at 79, right? In this zone, in this area right here.
Yeah.
If we can push down. Okay.
I'm watching this one closely too, man, because I normally don't trade oil, but I think this one has a long move to the upside. So
Yep.
I'm waiting
Yep.
patiently for
I do agree. Right. We got supply cuts, right?
Mhm.
That hasn't changed.
Nope, they doubled down on it recently. They got that BRIC summit happening this week too. So it'd be interesting to see what comes out of there too.
No Putin, eh? He better not show up. That's an issue. That'll be an issue. Be an issue.
But
So he probably gonna stay back, fall back. But via satellite, maybe. Who knows what's going on? Like, I don't know. But yeah, I'm with you on that, man. I think with the supply constraints, I see us establishing a new low price, and then I think it'll be off to the races. But I don't know, man. I remember it wasn't too long ago that we were thinking one way, and then a war broke out.
that's true.
So
That's very true.
the war broke out. What in the world? So
On the weekly, it's coming out of a 118, 127 zone. So that's why I'm looking at it closely.
where you running it from here?
Off the top.
Off the top. Yeah.
So maybe we get a little bit of deep retracement, but I'm definitely eyeing at 90, at least at 93.66 level.
Yeah. It's overextended. It's up there, in regards to, you look at the momentum on from that weekly perspective, that's at 96%.
Hmm.
Oh, continue to watch these fundamental drivers, man.
Yeah.
We shall see. We shall see. But that's been a pretty strong zone and area for price there. Man, I remember, when was it? What were we talking about? Like $200 a barrel, $100 a barrel. You remember that? Not too long
Yeah,
ago.
man. As we're pushing up into that 120 range, looking at before I took out the A, it was still running to that upside, looking at 150, 170, stuff like that.
Yeah. Say that's a hell of a run since 2020.
Man,
I made a lot of people rich.
I
A
will never
lot of
forget that.
nope. Nope. It's rare that you see that stuff in your lifetime. But we saw it. It came and it went. All right. That's it. He did beneath. I was wondering what was gonna happen with that. I'm like, this guy ain't gonna jump out here in the open. He'll do something. Wow. I had to read up on that, what's going on. So I appreciate that. Thanks for the heads up. So we shall see. So I got some reading. Ryan, anything before we wrap things up for tonight's session?
No, sir. Great session. I appreciate it.
Indeed. So you all have that link to the risk on, risk off. I'll also post that in the Discord in the group so everybody will have it. And we will be back here tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carlitz. Continue, everybody, to be patient. Don't get overly anxious. You see things are starting to fall right back in our lap again with some of the swings. So, all right. Have a good night, everybody.